So I'm going to really focus on one particular group of tenants that I have personally been seeing at the office and who are often left out of the picture when we talk about foreclosures in San Francisco, and that's immigrant Spanish-speaking population, particularly from District 10, the Excelsior, and parts of the Mission. These are folks who are often living in single-family dwellings. Sometimes it's more than one family. Often the place is divided into 2 or 3 units, and people are living in them. These folks are receiving no notification of anything that is happening to the house. Nothing. And even if they do, it is never, ever in Spanish. In fact, they generally don't even know that there's a foreclosure until a realtor from the bank comes around. And usually the realtor doesn't speak Spanish. So when the tenants get to my office, they are absolutely terrified out of their mind that they're going to be locked out of their place and that all their things are going to be put on the street. In fact, I've had tenants say to me that the realtor told them that if they didn't leave in 24 hours, 3 days, or whatever time period the realtor comes up with, their things are going to be put out on the streets and the doors are going to be locked and they're going to be locked out of their place. And a lot of times these tenants are not willing to fight. They're not willing to fight for a number of reasons. One of them is because of their immigration status. But sometimes it's also because they're afraid that if they fight, it's going to hurt their chances to get another place. And I'm running out of time. Wow. I can tell you about a lot of nightmare conversations I've had with bankers and realtors calling on behalf of these tenants. I had one realtor tell me, oh, these people in that household are obviously undocumented, therefore they have no rights. They have to leave. They have no choice. Tenants have rights in San Francisco. Immigration status doesn't matter. You know, so finally, there's a lot of other things I can say, but I'll sum up. I really wish the board could simply put a total moratorium on all foreclosures and evictions for profits in San Francisco. The reality is housing is a human right, and foreclosures and evictions for profit are a violation of human rights. Thank you very much.
So what happened?
We went to U.S. Bank at 16th and Mission yesterday.
Why?
Because they were threatening 3 families, 3 Latino families, single mothers with kids, 7 kids altogether, who are living in a foreclosed home. The landlord lost the home. The tenants are still in there. The bank has been threatening them for weeks now. The tenants didn't know until 3 weeks ago that the landlord had actually lost the place. They've never received any papers. They've never received anything in writing. No eviction notice, nothing. But the realtor was going around telling them they had to leave. The bank was telling them they had to leave. So we decided, because we couldn't get the bank to stop and to understand that these people have a right to be there, we went to U.S. Bank and we held a press conference outside there and basically said there were 3 demands. One was that the bank stop any eviction proceedings and never consider any eviction proceedings again, that the bank begin to collect rent from these tenants and do repairs and acting like a good landlord, and 3, that the sheriff of San Francisco, the interim sheriff, not do an eviction should papers come across her desk, that she refused to do an eviction. So that's basically what we demanded. And now we're hearing that that U.S. Bank does not own that property, but in fact Wells Fargo owns it. Don't ask me how. I don't understand all this craziness. Capitalism is just, it's so bizarre. But
they do this. Banks hand these properties off to each other.
I know. So now, but the good news is that now Wells Fargo has been telling the media that they are going to respect the rights of these tenants and follow San Francisco law, which means if they're following San Francisco law, these people are covered by just cause and rent control. That means they can't evict them. So hopefully these tenants will get to stay in their homes. Hopefully. More on that later.